And here we go. We got what is this, number 2? So last time we talked about Descartes, basically how he thinks that you should basically forget school, everything you've learned, and create everything, all your knowledge for yourself. Start at ground zero and build from there. Today, we're going to talk about a little something more, maybe similar, something people can relate to more, which is how to get through your day. Now, I wanted to bring up a certain topic that is talked about in existentialism, which is thrownness, by Jean-Paul Sartre, a Frenchman, and Heidegger, who I believe, not sure where he's from, doesn't matter. But we do not choose to live, but we choose to keep living, is my thought about what thrownness is. So thrownness in Being and Nothingness, written by Sartre, is basically says that we're sort of thrown into these things. We're thrown into life. We sort of just wake up, from day to day, and it's just sort of, we don't have really a choice of how we want to live or where we want to live or anything. We just sort of, it just sort of happens to us one day. But my thinking is that something a little bit more concrete than that maybe is that we do not choose to live. You go to sleep at night and you wake up in the morning and you don't remember your sleep. You remember that you've not been awake, but you just sort of end up here, and it seems kind of negative. It seems like it can be pretty depressing. So in a sense, maybe we're tossed into a world in which we cannot create or do not want to create. And, that can be scary for some people. I mean, I think everybody experiences that. And I think I would like to garner a solution to this. And this would be, the only way to escape is to create your own meaning. So like music, the greatest artists take bits and pieces from other artists they listen to, and they create their own piece of music by putting what others have already put out into the world and creating their own spin on it. So I think this can go back to our idea of thrownness, where we just wake up one day and we're just here, whether we like it or not. And, just like music, if you have certain role models in your life, you take bits and pieces of what you've learned from them or from other people, whether it be positive or negative, and you sort of mold your own picture, sculpture, whatever you want to call it, but most importantly, your life from day to day. But I wanted to bring up this idea of a painting. And I was thinking about this morning, is like, life is sort of like everybody, everybody's seated at this easel, right? And, everybody's got a stool. Everybody's got basically the same items. Some people might have more. Some people might not even have a paintbrush. Some people might not have a stool. Some people might. But everybody has at least an easel to paint on. They have, the canvas to paint on, I guess. So, if you think about life and all these people are standing in line, or seated in line, certain advantages and disadvantages to everybody, of course. But, for the most part, we're all seated in this line. And, I guess we're tasked. We're not really told what to do, but we all can kind of figure out that we're tasked to paint something on this canvas, or not. But we're all sort of seated here, and we don't know why we're seated here. Again, the idea of thrownness. And, some people way down the line might be painting these perfect pictures, and they've got, beautiful colors, and it all makes sense to them, and, everybody else seems to like their work as well. Then you got some people in the middle who are like starting to paint, I guess, and, they've got some colors here and there, but they still don't really have a direction into where they're going. And then you have people at the other end of the spectrum, who haven't even started painting. They're just sitting there with their brush in hand, sort of like looking at other people or just staring at their easel. And, I think that's where, that's where people sort of, the worst components of thrownness are placed, is those people who are just sort of staring at the canvas and they're not sure what to do, and they see other people have been painting these beautiful canvases, and they want to do that, but they can't seem to get themselves to start painting. But I was thinking, once you start painting, once you start figuring out your life, you realize how easy it was, and you wonder, like, what the hell was I doing before? Those are kind of like the people in the middle. And some people might even, we all know there's a couple people in our lives who sort of are like staring at their canvas, and they're like, they're mad that there's not a beautiful picture on it, and wondering why everybody else gets to have this beautiful picture, and they've got this blank white canvas, and they want it to be with colors and everything, and look beautiful and whatnot, like a landscape. And those are the type of people that I seem to think that are we've all found ourselves in that spot sometimes. So it's perfectly okay to go around and look at others' paintings, like I was trying to allude to with the music artists, is that you can see other people painting. You can walk over there, of course, get inspired, and bring it back to your easel, your life, and start painting. But the hardest part is to start painting, obviously. This idea of people who are miserable. I think misery is something that you must put yourself out of your own misery. At that point, you got to help yourself first before anybody else helps you, which is the most important part. But everybody's picture is going to be different. Everybody's life is going to be different, where it starts and where it ends. But not everybody gets an easel, of course, or a canvas or a paintbrush or anything, but we all can decide how it ends. You can pick up a paintbrush, or you can use your fingers or something, like whatever you can do to get started. But don't be daunted by the greatest artists, and think that you can one day paint that beautiful picture and become that greatest artist, or that great artist, I should say, not the greatest, but great artist, because there can be multiple of them, obviously. But be that great artist who can give back the inspiration and the motivation and stick-to-itiveness that you once saw in somebody else's painting. And you got to be successful and whatnot, and it's a way of paying it forward. That's all I got for today. But my advice, I urge you and myself to get out there and paint.